Oh, yeah. We gather our hearts in the face of hatred. We gather our love in the shadow of fear. We gather our light in the hour of darkness. We gather now, we gather here. We gather now, and we gather here. Ooh. We stand on our strength in the time of danger. We lift up our song in the presence of tears. We send out our joy in the depths of sorrow. We gather now, we gather here. We gather now, and we gather here. We come together in this time and place. We come together in this kindness and with our grace. We call out for peace in the heat of anger. We step into faith in the midst of despair. We celebrate hope in the heart of sadness. We gather now and everywhere. We gather now, we gather everywhere. We come together in this time and place. We come together in this kindness and with our grace. We gather our hearts in the face of hatred. We gather our love in the shadow of fear. We gather our light in the hour of darkness. We gather now, we gather here. We gather now, and we gather here. We gather now, and we gather here.
Welcome to Unity of Hagerstown. I'm sounding a little bit loud there. That's better. And welcome to those joining us online. We're always glad that you're with us, even if it's in virtual. That's okay too. So, as you can see, Brent and Patty are not with us today. They both came down with, as they say, the crud. So, their words, not mine. But so we're going to hold them in prayer, seeing them connected to that one life and seeing them both whole and healthy. And so there is a quote here. It is the beautiful task of Advent to awaken in all of us memories of goodness and thus to open doors of hope. Pope Benedict XVI. So today is the first Sunday in Advent, and I'm so glad that you are here with us today. And we begin with an opening prayer. And let's just join together. Let's take a moment, centering our focus on our heart space, letting go of the to-do list or whatever thoughts may be spinning the wheel, just becoming fully present here and now. And we just sang the song, "We stand on our faith in the face of chaos." And so we go within and to activate that power of faith, of hope, so that we may recognize God present here and now. That spirit of love, that spirit of wisdom that flows through each of us, as us, with us. And for this and so much more, we are grateful. Amen. And if you'll join me in our vision statement, together, Unity of Hagerstown exists to inspire awakening to the divine within and honor the sacred in all. And our mission. As a beloved community, we create a sacred space that empowers spiritual growth and ignites compassionate action. Yes, indeed. And we have the reading of the Daily Word today with Mama Sue.
Okay, good morning. This is on. We get 2 words for today, hope and faith. Double bill. As Advent begins, I center myself in hope and feel my faith grow strong. I marvel at Mary's faith as I think about the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects of her journey to Bethlehem to have her child. She must have felt frightened to hear what the angel had told her, but faith allowed her to take each step with peace. Like Mary, I may wonder why I am facing certain events, and like Mary, I live in faith. When I have doubt or uncertainty, no matter what is going on in my life, my faith in the power of spiritual living gives me renewed hope that God is with me. I am reassured that along every journey, no matter how long, the highest good is unfolding. And the scripture is from Psalm 62, verse 5. For God alone my soul waits in silence, for my hope is from him. Please join me with the affirmation on the screen. I walk by faith and live each day with hope in my heart. Take that in. Let it settle in. And again, I walk by faith and live each day with hope in my heart.
Okay, thank you, Helen. We have an opportunity to greet each other, as always. Every Sunday we do so. And if you would like to wave to those who are joining us online, please do so right here. They will not be able to hear you. Well, I guess I could leave my mic if you want to talk to them. I'll do that. Yeah. So I think we all know what to do and how to do it, so let's do it. Let's greet each other. And I do want to say hello to our beloved Facebook friends and YouTube friends. We love you. We appreciate you. We see the light that you are. We hope that you are having a splendid day.
You got a light, you got a light, and it's shining out for everyone to see. You got a light, you got a light, and it's shining out for everyone to see.
And
By some kind of miracle, now I feel that light in me. You got a love, you got a love, and it's shining out for everyone to see. You got a love, Now I feel that love in me. You got a joy running through you now that just can't be denied. You got a spirit like a firecracker lighting up the sky. Yeah. You got a power. You got a power. It's shining out for everyone to see. You got a power. You got a power. And it's shining out for everyone to see. By some kind of miracle, now I feel that power in me. You got a joy running through you now that just can't be denied. You got a spirit like a firecracker lighting up the sky. You got a power. You got the power. Shining out for everyone to see. You got the power. Hey, you got the power. Yeah. Shining out for everyone to see. And by some kind of miracle, now I feel that power in me. Feel that power. Feel the power. Feel it in me. Feel the power. Yeah, yeah. Feel that power in me.
Okay.
Feel that power in me. Yeah, feel that power in me. Yeah. Feel that power in me. Feel that power in me. Feel that power.
I have to wait for the last note. There we go. Okay. Oh. There. Okay. As this is the first Sunday in Advent, we begin with an Advent reading. We begin lighting our candles. And hopefully everybody got an Advent booklet so that you can have daily readings if you like, all throughout at this season. Whoops, I just want to make sure I'm on the right page. I'm not doing it in order. Okay, there we go. So you don't have to read along with me. In fact, and I would actually prefer if you just listen, maybe. But if you want to read, it's the reading from December 3rd for those who are visual learners. Okay. So hope and faith are greatly intertwined. Both are internal forces or energies that fill us and keep us moving forward. Spiritually, we can consider hope as the expectation of accomplishing a divine promise in the future. Expectation may fill us with joy and peace. Faith is the certainty, a more profound and more rooted energy of what is hoped and not yet seen. While hope waits for the future, faith is for the present time, here and now. With faith, I trust that in spite of any situation, divine order has already been established for my good. The biblical Abraham provides an example of hope and faith. Abraham believed and hoped that the promise that he would be a father of nations would become true in spite of his age and his wife's, Sarah's, infertility. According to the story, Sarah was in her 90s when their son Isaac was born. Abraham is known as the father of faith. The scripture reading is from Romans 4:20 through 21. No distrust made him waver concerning the promise of God, but he grew strong in his faith as he gave glory to God, being fully convinced that God was able to do what he had promised. And we have an affirmation on the screen together. I have faith that I am divinely guided. Okay. So, how's everybody doing? Doing okay. Yeah. It's nice to see the snow this morning. So we're going to continue on from the daily word reading, talking about Mary and Joseph's journey. And I want you to just picture in your mind, that it's kind of ingrained in us. We picture young woman pregnant, riding the donkey, and her husband's beside her, in the midst of, what could have been a very chaotic journey or uprooting of her life. They were both subject to the governmental policies, and the government wanted a census, and everybody had to return to the city of their birth. So a little bit of unrest, possibly resentment. The Daily Word suggested fear, but I'm thinking that they're both human. Maybe they resented this, this decree that affected their lives so profoundly. Mary's always portrayed as kind of the epitome of patience, right? Riding the donkey to Bethlehem with Joseph walking by her side. And as an archetype, I think that works. But if we think of them as real people, maybe not so much. They were human and as subject to human emotions. What might have they been thinking and feeling? Perhaps they were just a tiny bit resentful for having to make this journey, or it could be that they were able to greet each day of the journey and see the beauty around them and know that this was an adventure of a lifetime. Maybe they railed against the circumstances that led them down this road. Maybe they started doubting their faith in God as well. They may have set up kind of that cognitive emotive loop where you have a thought that leads to a feeling that leads to more thoughts about the original one, leads to a greater feeling. Maybe they got into that as well. But maybe their faith was great and that they understood that God was present no matter where they were. God was greater than any circumstance that they were facing. So our journey through these times has a few parallels, I believe, with the Advent story. We're all traveling through it, although some of it was not of our own design, and we may feel resentful at certain situations that have come about. Maybe we feel like giving up and just saying, what difference can I make anyway? I'm just going to sit on my couch and watch Netflix and eat ice cream. Or maybe we can look at whatever challenge is facing us and know that this too shall pass. Perhaps we want to have a faith that all is well, that God is present within us, that the world is not falling apart and so on. But maybe we can't seem to muster up that belief, that faith. And instead we become reactive to the news or to, Facebook, social media posts, whatever it is that pushes our buttons. We may have, like I said, adopted that kind of hopeless attitude. What difference can I make? What can I do about any of this? Well, my friends, faith is not passive. We've been given all the faith that we need for any situation. It's our choice where we place our faith, whether we place our faith in what's going wrong, a Chicken Little kind of feeling, or we place our faith in God, the God of our understanding, knowing that that presence of spirit, that presence of love and wisdom is there for us, within us as well. So we consciously or unconsciously decide where we place our faith. So this spiritual power of faith that I'm talking about is that quality in us which enables us to look past appearances of lack, limitation, or difficulty, to take hold of the divine idea and believe in it, even though we do not see any evidence of it except in our own mind. So we're able to look beyond the challenge and get the idea, whether it's of love, of understanding, whatever that idea is that helps us with seeing the presence of God in it. Look beyond the challenge, knowing that God is present. We exercise our faith when we come to understand that what we may have believed as impossible is possible, because we can look beyond the surface appearance to that presence within. If we want to play a more active role in creating a better life experience for ourselves or for our world, then we retrain ourselves to see beyond those outer circumstances to the reality of God, ever present, to the reality of divine love, ever present. And just as we need to exercise our body for good health, our minds to stay mentally active, we exercise our faith to strengthen that belief in possibilities. Now, as I said, I mentioned the cognitive emotive loop, and I think this is really important these days to know about this if you don't know about it already, and hopefully I get it right. So here we go. I actually have a quote from somebody else to explain it. A cognitive emotive loop is a repeating pattern where thoughts and beliefs produce feelings that fuel our rightness about our stories, that then further intensify our feelings, and on and on. They burn energy and get in the way of progress. They're one way we as humans get stuck. We all experience this at some time or another, sometimes daily. You know, it could be the news, whatever it is, that gets us into this repetition. I wanted to give you an example by Jim Dethmer. So an employee has the thought that I'm underpaid and I'm undervalued. And with that thought, feelings arise of anger. And with those feelings, the body responds as well. Maybe the jaw clenches, maybe the heart races, maybe the fists. You know, you get angry. So the employee does not allow the feeling to be completed, to be felt all the way through. It takes about 90 seconds for the feeling to pass through the body. And usually, if it's an unpleasant feeling, we cut it off short. You know, so the employee doesn't allow that feeling to complete. Rather, they use the energy of the feeling to fuel the belief that he's being undervalued, or they're being undervalued. It triggers more thoughts about it. Perhaps he goes looking for evidence because he knows he's right. And as a consequence, becomes even more angry. Now, it doesn't have to be anger with this loop. It could be, you know, whatever emotion. But the thing is, we don't allow the feeling to be felt, and that produces even more tightness of the body, more signs of our anger in the body, or whatever feeling it is. So instead, that feeling, the energy behind it backs the idea that I'm right and they're wrong, right? Yes. We, you know, maybe this person thinks about how they've been mistreated for years. He solidifies the belief by comparing what he's getting to what somebody else is getting. His anger now moves into an even deeper expression, maybe rage, and maybe he fantasizes about telling his boss off in public and storming out of that place. Okay, so feelings all the way, allowing them to rise up and move through, as well as investigating the thoughts behind the belief, are the two key ways in which we escape one of those loops. So I want to show you step by step what that looks like. And again, this is from Jim Dethmer. So first step, notice when you are in the loop through self-awareness. We probably already know what triggers us into this loop. We probably already know or have a pretty good idea. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's something at work. Maybe it's something, you know, political. We have an idea of what's going on. When that happens, when we find ourselves in the loop again, if we can take a step back and say, there it is. There's my loop again. That allows a little bit of distance so that we can then have options. So the second step is to accept that we're in the loop. We're in the loop again. In fact, that's all you have to do is we're in the loop again without self-criticism or judgment, right? Because they certainly don't do anything to resolve this. In fact, they do a lot more damage. So a deep breath. I see I'm in the loop, and that's just my loop right now. That's my loop. And then we can, with that distance, we have the choice to interrupt the pattern. It's always a choice. Choosing a different way shows that we are taking responsibility for our emotions, for our thoughts. And then, that's a pretty easy step sometimes, except when you're caught in the loop. When you're caught in the loop, you may not feel like you have a choice. You have to distance yourself. Okay, then we stay with the body to feel the feelings. If we don't feel the feelings, we're just going to stay in the loop. Feelings are sensations. In fact, to complete a feeling, we have to stay connected to the body until those sensations have come up and moved on. So choose to stop fueling the sensations with more thinking about whatever is put you in the loop in the first place, and keep focused on the sensations. Get out of your head into your heart, into your breath, into maybe it's the jaw that's clenched. Whatever it is, that where you're noticing the sensation, put your focus there. So when that employee has a thought, I'm underpaid and undervalued, followed by the feeling of anger and the sensations in his body that we've talked about of tightness and heat and whatever, he can override that impulse to let his mind run away to find evidence for this thought and instead keep his attention on the body. And he can then rest in that awareness of that sensation, simply noticing it. He doesn't try to stop it. As best as you possibly can, welcome those sensations. We cut them off short because we don't want to feel them, okay? For whatever reason, maybe we think, we shouldn't be angry, or maybe we think, this is a bad feeling, but we cut it off short because we don't want to feel it. So to stay with it requires a little bit of practice sometimes. So again, staying with the body until the body is through with the feeling. And then we unwind the thought through inquiry. And this is where Byron Katie's The Work really shines, if you're familiar with that. If not, I'll go through it real quickly. But once the body has released the energy, the emotion, and the feeling, the sensation, and come back to a more level space, we can choose to be curious over the whole thought system that brought us there in the first place. About being right. We can choose to be curious about it and look for possible ways that the opposite of your thought could be true, or perhaps even truer. So the core belief, for instance, that the boss and the company should value this employee more. A question could be, is this true that they should value me more? Can I know for certain that this is true? And then you do those turnarounds with Byron Katie, right? You find evidence for how the opposites are true. My boss and company do value me. Or, here's a good one, I should value myself more. So this is how we get out of the loop so that we can develop the faith muscle in seeing the good instead of staying in that negative loop. Excuse me. So Charles Fillmore called faith, we're getting back to Advent. This was just such good stuff when I came across it, I wanted to share it. Charles Fillmore called faith the perceiving power of mind. And what we see in our mind, we believe to be true. It's sort of like a child at a department store at Christmas time, sees the Santa Claus, believes it's the real Santa Claus. Then as the child gets older, sees the wig and the beard and realizes that that's not the real Santa Claus. They see a different reality. So as we grow, we develop more complexity in thought. So we are able to see, using our power of imagination, beyond the surface. The surface may be chaotic. We can see the presence of God, the presence of love. Fillmore continues with his definition by saying faith is linked with the power to shape substance, that substance we talked about a couple weeks ago, which is that which underlies all reality. It's another name for God. It is the essence of all things. Substance is not the physical manifestation, but underlies all physical manifestations. So as we see it in our mind's eye, using our imagination, and with our thoughts, we actually shape substance to bring about it into reality. And this is what strengthening our power of faith can do. It's a force that can draw to us our heart's desires right out of invisible substance. It's a deep inner knowing, Fillmore tells us, that that which is sought is already ours for the taking. It's the assurance of things hoped for. So Mary and Joseph's trip to Bethlehem is a beautiful metaphor, really, for our own spiritual journey through life. Mary and Joseph, symbolic of our thinking and feeling natures, are called to make this journey together, just as in our spiritual journey, we're called to bring our heart and our minds together. It's not an intellectual journey alone. It's a heart journey. We have to feel the feelings as well. Both are necessary, though. So thoughts and feelings in harmony. Mary and Joseph have stepped away from their daily lives to make the trip, even though it seems to have come from an outside force or power, this census. But the trip, according to the scriptures, was made in order that the prophecy be fulfilled. And I believe that each of us here are on our personal spiritual journey, are fulfilling a destiny as well. Maybe not a prophecy, but I don't know. I mean, who knows? But it's certainly a destiny. Our soul's evolution is part of the universal invitation for us to expand our awareness of God and God through us as well. It's a constantly growing recognition of who we are as a spiritual being, an individual expression of the divine, God expressing. Colossians 1:26, Christ in you, the hope of glory. The word Christ comes from the Greek that means the anointed one. Within you is that which is one with God, your true self, your higher self, your Christ consciousness, one with God. So how do we cultivate faith in that? Well, I think one step at a time, right? Keeping clear in our direction, we activate that power of faith by intentionally choosing to look beyond circumstances, reminding ourselves that God is present no matter what. God as love, God as wisdom, God working through you. When we think of that journey of Mary and Joseph, we may immediately bring to mind the donkey. I mean, isn't that the picture that comes to mind? The donkey? And sometimes I think donkeys may have a bad rep, I don't know, in which they refuse to move and they just are stubborn. Traditionally, that's kind of the picture that is painted about them, but I think that there's also a great deal of perseverance in these donkeys, humility and courage as well. Metaphysically, the donkey can symbolize our body. We have our heart, our mind, and our body working together along our spiritual journey. St. Francis of Assisi called his body brother ass, okay? So I don't know why, I don't need to know why. For our spiritual journey, we bring along every aspect of our being, our emotions, our intellect, our body, knowing that every step of the way we can choose to place our faith in that which is greater within us. What we see on the surface is not the whole story. We can use that power of faith to see truth with a capital T. Our perception, Reverend Linda Martillowitz tells us, is so critical to our experience of reality that it would be wise for us to question our perception and to seek the greatest truth we can fathom as the basis for our viewpoint. Truth is the interconnectedness of all life and the order existing within all creation. So what is the greatest truth that you can fathom? Can you fathom that you are a beautiful, individual expression of the divine, that you are connected to all of creation through that spirit of oneness. And then how does holding that truth in the face of any challenge do anything for you? It lets us know that there is more to the story, that we have options. Seeing the presence of God in all and in all creation helps us to see what is possible for our earthly experience and what is reality in our spiritual experience. A Course in Miracles tells us, I will not use the body's eyes to see today. I will not use the body's eyes today. I think that's what it is, yeah. I will not use the body's eyes today. In other words, seeing with maybe eyes of the heart, seeing with a deeper perception, seeing with faith. Our ability to perceive is innate. Our ability to perceive endless possibilities is innate. And it can be built, it can be exercised, holding on to possibilities. I'm going to end with this, a story that I came across. It's a true story. Reginald Betts, at the age of 17, entered the prison system in Fairfax County after he carjacked a car while somebody was sleeping inside. He was tried as an adult and spent almost a decade in prison, with most of it in solitary confinement. And one day he yells out, "Hey, yo, somebody, give me a book." And the fellow inmates used kind of a sheets and pillowcase to lower a book down to him. And it was a poetry book, Black Poets. And he started reading after that every chance he got. He began writing too, and before long he realized that education provided the key for his escape. When he was released from prison, still a young man, he went full steam ahead with his education, earning a bachelor's degree and a law degree from Yale. He wrote poetry, he advocated for prison reform. Eventually, he founded a nonprofit, Freedom Reads. It provides libraries and books to prisoners all across the country, repaying the good deed he received in solitary confinement. Since it began in 2020, Freedom Reads has installed more than 550 libraries with more than 275,000 books. And counting. Delivering books in prison represented for Betts a coming together, a community. That's why the bookcases are curved and have books on either side. He wanted people to come together and talk about the books as well. It is a way for the environment to be enriched, and as he said, to transform a place of desolation into one in which a radical idea would have a chance to blossom. Freedom begins with a book, he says. So his nonprofit is funded by donations and grants like MacArthur Foundation, Mellon Foundation. Betts is able to see beyond what most people see with inmates, to see possibilities. Ordinary people believe only in the possible. Extraordinary people visualize not what is possible or probable, but rather what is impossible. And by visualizing the impossible, they begin to see it as possible. Dare to dream. Dare to see yourself as accomplishing great things. Use that power of imagination to do that. Your spiritual journey. See yourself as spirit expressing here on earth. See your soul awakening, your heart opening. Dare to see a world that works for all. Dare to be extraordinary, my friends. And in doing so, you move into faith, the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. One more quote, and that's it. Faith isn't naive positivity. It is the quiet, steady trust that there's a wholeness unfolding beyond what's immediately visible. So with that, let's move into a time of meditation. And I just invite you to adjust your position. In fact, stretch out if you need to. You've been sitting for a while. I had a lot to say today, so thank you for your patience. And go ahead and settle in, closing your eyes, beginning to pay attention to your breath. And I invite you to just do a scan of your body, allowing any tense areas to soften, to be relaxed. Moving slowly. And then I invite you to bring your focus back to your heart space. And again, I ask the question, what is the highest possibility that you can fathom about yourself? Know that you are one with God as spirit. The spirit of love, the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of peace, the spirit of joy moves through you as you. With each breath, I invite you to come to a deeper understanding of this. You are a spiritual being made of spirit, living in a spiritual world. Christ in you, your hope of glory. Your higher self, that Christ consciousness, that which is always one with the divine. As we move into a time of silence, I invite you to anchor into this thought. I am centered in God. God is centered in me. I am centered in God. God is centered in me. In the silence. As we bring this time of meditation to a close, I invite you just to continue to sit restfully.
Thank you is the
With this song.
only prayer I need. Thank you, I say thank you in every word and deed, and with every breath of gratitude for all I'm about to receive. I say thank you for the power to believe. I was asleep, lost in a dream, alone and living without without love, without peace, consumed with hunger and doubt. Then with words of grace I awakened, and reality returned. Every word reminding me of the truth I now affirm. I say thank you, thank you. It's the only prayer I need. Thank you, I say thank you in every word and deed, and with every breath of gratitude for all I'm about to receive. I say thank you for the power to believe in the one life, the one mind, whose goodness flows through me, removing all my doubt and fear, restoring my sanity. And as much as I believe this truth, so shall its goodness flow, as much for you as it does for me, as faith will surely show. Thank you, thank you, is the only prayer I need. Thank you, I'll say thank you in every word and deed, and with every breath of gratitude for all I'm about to receive. I say thank you for the power to believe. I relax and trust in the sacred love that shows my heart the way. I am living proof that miracles happen every day. I'll say thank you, thank you. It's the only prayer I need. Thank you, I'll say thank you in every word and deed, and with every breath of gratitude for all I'm about to receive. I say thank you for the power to believe. Yes, I say thank you for the power. Thank you for the power. Thank you is the only prayer I need.
At this time, we're going to say goodbye to our Facebook friends. We love you, we bless you, and unfortunately, with Patty and Brent gone, I don't have the license, or actually, Facebook does not recognize the license for the next couple songs, so we have to go off the air. So thank you for being with us. Come back next week. Richard Pacheco will be speaking on peace.